Hey everyone, what is the crack? This week we are racing Brands Hatch. Now, most of you probably know this track, but there are tenths to be found, even if you think you already know the track. I'm not saying that this is going to be a perfect track guide. It's very, very difficult to put a proper lap together here. But the format for this, for those of you who haven't seen it before, I do a flying lap. I try to commentate over it. Don't pause it. Don't do anything like that. The second time around, we go into more detail about each and every corner and really show where the braking points are and why I think that's where you gain speed and that's where you need to concentrate, because it's very much about consistency as well. And then the final section is just about racecraft and setup, things that I've changed to my setup to give myself a good time. So as it stands right now, it's a P1 time on our server. 17 people have done laps, so I know it's pretty quick. There's still time there. You'll see I made a lot of mistakes and stuff, so let's dive into the lap and let's go. So as always, the last corner is super important, so make sure you get a really good drive. There's a brake marker on the left that I'll go into more detail on. Drop down into fifth and really carry lots of momentum to use as much of the track as you can. Nice hard on the brake here. You're gonna lock up with the bumps and stuff like that. Obviously if you don't lock up, you'll be slightly quicker. Nice and wide out to the right, drop a gear. I went a little bit wide here. If I just turned in a little bit later, could have got a better drive there. Stay nice and out to the wide here. I'll go into a lot of detail on this corner by special request, and again, I could have done it better there, but this is the best lap that I did so far, so I'm just gonna leave it as this is. So really quick turn in here, sixth gear. Again, could have done slightly better there, had a bit of a wobble down into fifth. Could have had a slightly better cut there. I'm running quite high aero. I'll go into a little bit more detail on that there. Stay in fifth, cut that curb. It's a blind crest, so difficult one. Down to third gear here. Some people will probably take it in fourth, so first to fourth I have standard gearing. Again, I'll go into more detail and carry loads and loads of speed through this last corner. So as you can see, that was far from a perfect lap, but let's break it down into more detail. So in more detail, you want to get a really, really good drive into the last corner, get right up through the gears. Now my brake marker is this on the left, so you've got your 3, 2, 1 markers, 300, you've got a brake marker here, ignore that in this car, 2, and just before the 1 you've got this little red or orangey mark. That's where I brake. So brake in a straight line as much as possible and turn in, catch as much of that right hand curb as you can. So it's quite late braking, and even while you brake initially, you're still aiming straight towards this barrier at the far side. So brake, and then after that line, there's a line on the track. That's where you want to start turning in, catch that curb. I could have done slightly better in that corner. Then for this corner, you want to brake at the 100 mark. That's where I brake. I'm sure some people brake later, but I struggle with locking up there. Maybe brake bias or something will sort me out there, but it seems to work quite consistently and quite nicely. So I drop all the way down to second gear, try and get in tight. Now, the main thing in this corner is try and get that nose pointed to where you want to go. As soon as that nose is kind of pointing in the right direction, you see I'm on the throttle. Go nice and wide out to the right. Don't go too far to the right because you're going to get sucked into that grass and there's no recovering. Well, there is, but you're going to lose a lot of time. So out to the right, as soon as that curb is near you, brake. Try braking a straight line as much as possible so that you lose that little bit of speed, settle the car, and then turn in. Now you see I had a slight bit of a hesitation there. I should have probably waited slightly later, turned in slightly later, because it actually ended up pushing me slightly wide. You don't want to take much of that curb because you'll spin out. So this is the big one for a lot of people. Brake at the 100 marker and kind of go towards this road while you're braking. So you see I'm not braking too hard. Start braking at the 100. I'll go in slow motion. Start braking at the 100. Go towards this little road. Drop a gear and then drop a gear again. And that's when you want to start turning in. You want to keep an eye out for this red marker. As soon as this red marker comes into your view at the end of this barrier, that's when you really want to start committing to the corner, because it's a late apex corner. You want to get as much speed as you can up there while carrying a lot of speed through the corner as well. There are several lines you can take this. but you really want to have a lot of speed, a great exit coming out of here, so lots and lots of grip. So you want to lose your speed nice and quickly here before the corner even starts. So you want to lose your speed before that curb even starts, and then you start turning in, and there's a slight there's a line on the track actually, and that line, in an ideal world, you're slightly off, like your left wheel would be here and you're already pointing up that straight. That would be the ideal line there. I'm slightly washing wide here, but it's still a quick line. So I hope that kind of explains it. Go back, watch it again if you didn't understand that. This is a really quick corner. I don't even brake here, and I could probably do it quicker. Finding the turn in point is quite tricky, so to be consistent, I just go for the 100 marker, turn in while off the accelerator, and as soon as the car is settled, just go for it again. You see, I had a bit of a wobble, so I probably lost quite a bit of time there. Same again, 200 marker, 100 marker, just before the 100 marker, brake and drop a gear. I understeered slightly there. If I had taken more of that curb on, because you're allowed to have 2 wheels on the track and 2 wheels off, so I could have taken a lot more of that curb, gotten a way better drive out of here. My aero saved me there. Don't switch up into 6th gear here, stay in 5th. This is a blind crest, you just need to practice this one. But one easy way to know that the turn is coming is there's a hut on the left here. Kind of use that as it go as far as you can to the hut, and then turn across here. So aim for the hut, go wide, and as soon as you kind of start running out of track, that's your turn-in point. Aim for the hut, turn in. And that's a really fast part of the track. At the 100, I dropped down to 3rd. You can try dropping down to 4th with the standard gearing. There shouldn't be much of a difference. And then carry that speed and really start gunning it, because this is your start-finish straight. This is where you're going to overtake people. Practice that corner as much as you can. So that's that. As for racecraft on this track, you really want to put people under pressure on the start-finish straight. You want to get up behind them, don't get beside them, don't make it more difficult for yourself than you need to, unless you can clearly get the advantage, get the position, take it, but don't take risks in these really high speed quick corners. Especially on this back section of the track that you can see here, you're going to get beside cars, you're going to slow down while you're battling. Bear in mind, the people behind you, they're going to come up fast. So a lot of the time, you're better off staying behind the car, put them under a load of pressure. That's my own personal tactic. It might be anti-racer or whatever, but it's really only when I'm feeling confident, feeling like I can go for it, that I really attack the other cars here. As for just nail the lines on this track, when you nail the lines, you're going to be so much quicker than the other people around you who are battling. People are going to struggle. I'm running hard tires for this, and I set my P1 time with hard tires. So I don't know how that's going to affect me in race, but my mediums were just heating, and it wasn't suiting me. So yeah, I've lowered the A or B at the front a little bit. I've lowered my gearing for 5th and 6th a little bit. What else have I done? Not much. Fuel, I've adjusted my pressures. I'm running really low pressures, and that's about it. Not really too much more. If you have any questions, feel free to give a shout in the comments below. I don't think there's much more to it. Feel free to study the track guide. I think there's more time in it. You see, I made a load of mistakes, and if you guys are wondering how I did this fancy little replay thing, I'll be doing a video on that in the future. It is using Cam Tool, and it's pretty damn cool. So thanks a million for watching, and I will see you. I'll be live streaming on Tuesday and Thursday. Apologies for not live streaming during the week. Chat to you later.